Welcome back to the 24th episode of the Clappy and Frank Show. Just a little introduction. We drove here just now in a snowstorm. There are no cars on the road. The studio and our guest, the wonderful world-famous insurance agent Pinchus Chein, said, "Are you not canceling? Are you sure?" I said, our audience, our loyal listeners and followers on all the platforms will never miss a week of the Clappy and Frank Show. So I want to just let you all know, you are the number one priority on this show, our dear listeners.
We're going to walk back? Or
We're going to find out what Mamdani does to us. If they're going to shut down all the bridges and we might have to just take a swim through the Hudson River, I don't know yet. However, I just want to welcome you all back in the middle of a snowstorm. We have with us Rabbi Pinchus Chein.
Not Rabbi. My cousin's a rabbi.
Who's been selling property and casualty insurance for 30 years. And the amount of name dropping, people keep saying, you're having people on from other industries. Why don't you educate us in the world of property and casualty insurance? And the one name that comes up over and over and over again is Pinchus. So Pinchus, welcome to the show. And if we could get a little background about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much.
You think we can make the show interesting? Insurance is really boring.
They say he's very interesting.
I'm definitely something, that's for sure. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Let's see. I came back from Israel when I was 18. I needed a job. I worked as a waiter in the Tamarack Hotel, and some nice elderly Jewish lady said, "Oh, you're such a nice Jewish boy. My son could use a boy like you." And I had nothing else better to do, so I said, no problem. And after Pesach, I called him up and I said, "Hey, I was told by your mother or grandmother I need a job." And I met a very wonderful gentleman by the name of Elliot Wexelman from a company called Alwex. I think I was 18, maybe 19 almost. And he starts telling me about Chabad and about how his brother's Chabad and how he was just a wonderful person. And he says, "Okay, what time are you coming tomorrow?" I said, "Great." And that's how I started insurance. As simple as that. A nice Jewish old lady.
You need a PNC license.
Property
to sell.
And casualty, yeah.
Property and casualty insurance
you need
license.
a PNC license to sell, not to work in the industry. So I started for a few months just working for him and learning what to do, how to do. I never did sales for him. Luckily enough, I was just learning about insurance and learning about reading the insurance policies, and his handwriting was absolutely atrocious. So he had to have me literally rewrite it and retype it up for him because the companies that he was dealing with couldn't read his handwriting half the time. And that's how I learned the business. So it was never sales. It was actually just underwriting, if you want to call it that.
So you were a waiter in the Tamarack Hotel on Pesach, which is so interesting. You needed to make a few bucks as a young yeshiva student. And you don't know every interaction we have in life, hashkacha pratis, but you make a good impression on somebody, you could literally be setting yourself up for life because you were probably nice to her. You probably gave her extra soda, extra potato chips. I don't know what happened over Pesach. And she's right away setting you up with her family to work in their industry. And little did you know that 30 years later, that's how you would support your family and have a livelihood.
Yeah, it was mamish min hashamayim. It was amazing. She was a wonderful lady. And,
she probably tipped well, so Pinchas had a good impression.
No,
of her.
didn't give me any tips.
0. Oh my God.
She said she did enough. She wanted her kickback from just getting me a job. But no, she was really a really very special lady, really wonderful lady. It was Elliot's mother, and she lived near me in where I was living in Flatbush, and so we just made a connection, and she was just great.
So growing up, the idea of you selling insurance full time was never on the equation.
Not even close. I didn't think I would ever do anything to do with sales in the first place. I never was an extrovert. I was always a very quiet kid. So the idea of it was just crazy, and I just fell into it as I got more comfortable in insurance and understanding the business and policies. And then people just started asking me questions, and I started to be able to explain to them and finding them, getting them good policies, explaining to them policies. And then it just grew and grew and grew as my career changed and changed.
Growing up, if I may ask, what did your father do for a living?
My father was a computer programmer for Citibank for a while. He owned some property, typical Lubavitcher Russian, he used to hang out in the free all the time type of guy. And he wanted me to get an education. So I was in college while I was working for Alwex. I always have to get a degree.
You
no
got a
matter what.
degree?
I got a degree. I graduated a bachelor's degree in business management and finance.
Well, it works. I guess your business management.
It helps. It can definitely help.
But you
I
didn't
knew
want to go into programming?
it was too boring for me. I was good at math, so working with numbers, especially on the insurance side of it, it was helpful, but it really didn't do anything. You don't have to do really mathematics and to do that.
Did you have to find your own clients, or there was a lead feed into the business?
So you can buy leads.
No, when you worked for the brokers, they gave you leads?
I never did any sales for them.
Well, you never did.
I never did. I was always referral based. What happened was people found out I was in the business. They came to me and they said, "Hey, I have a question for you. Can you help me with something? Can you do this?"
Oh, people that you knew, or the brokers themselves sent you, said, "Oh, there's someone on the line, Mark Maxwell wants to buy insurance." Was that like that?
No, people that just word of
Knew
mouth.
you.
People who knew me, and they started just asking me questions. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So for the first year or two, I was just doing back office work.
So salary
Salary
plus commission, whatever
salary
came
plus
in.
commission. Yeah, correct.
You need a license, right, to sell property
To
accounts?
sell, you have to have a license. Yeah, but it's easy. It's not. I mean, it takes a couple months. No big deal. If you really want to apply yourself, you can do it. And if you want to learn the business, you can work in an office to kind of gain that experience, understand it first before
So
you do
you
it.
spent 2 years in his office?
I was with him for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. At that point, I had gotten married. I had at least one, maybe probably 2 kids at that point already. By that point, and I was given an opportunity to go somewhere else get a better salary somewhere else. Again, no sales, but again, referrals. Things were coming in. Elliot was amazing to me. He said, I came to him. I said, "Hey, listen, I have this opportunity." He said, "Take it."
You didn't sign.
He was old school. He did not believe in non-competes. He said, your clients are your clients, and we'll always honor that.
Even though you're working out of his office, he said your clients are your clients.
Meaning he still paid me commission, and as long as those clients were staying at his office, he would always still pay me the commission agreement. He was a very, very ehrlich person. Very, very, yeah, he was really a mensch. So when I got an opportunity to go somewhere else, to start something for another insurance office, I asked him for advice because he was like, almost like a second father to me about this on the business side. He just, and I had to. Yeah, please.
I want to make a point that people think to do well in sales, you have to run around cold calling. Being a good resource, a nerd, Rav Pinchas, people just call you and ask you because you're approachable and you know a lot, and people just word of mouth it, all right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my biggest sales tactic, if you want to call it that, or my biggest sales, just my method was that I didn't need the business because I had a salary. And I told people this. I said, "I'm here to help you. If you want me to give you advice, you want me to work on it, I'll do it for you." But there was no like, "Oh, I need your business and I want it back and I need to sell you." So they felt that like, "Oh, he's telling me the MS, he's telling me the truth." And I always would give them sometimes the brutal truth, like, it stinks, but this is what you got. This is your options. And they would go with me. And sometimes, I tell them to stick with where they were.
Last night when I was thinking about the interview and questions, one of the things I thought about insurance, I'm sure you all have this already in mind, is that when you buy a bottle of scotch, whether you love it or you end up not loving it so much, you got yourself a beautiful bottle of scotch. You buy a bottle of water, you're thirsty, you get a bottle of water. Maybe you overpaid. Insurance, and I'm thinking about it in my own personal life. I don't own a home yet, so I pay renter's insurance. I pay car insurance, thousands and thousands. I want to get to that in a moment, thousands of dollars. I have health insurance. I'm probably about to buy a new policy for dental insurance. And then I have disability insurance. And I could go on and on and on. Probably half my money I don't know how much, but crazy numbers go to insurance. And insurance is the only product where it's pieces of paper. And today they don't even send it to you. It's all emails. And you get nothing, but you could sleep better at night. But at the end of the day, it's all about what the product has potentially. So I think that insurance is not about the fancy glass offices and the big advertisements, but it's the agent that you're working with. How much trust do you have in them that they're selling you a good product? So when you say nerd that knows the policies really well, that's what should sell the policy. And when I ask people about property and casualty insurance, your name keeps coming up over and over and over again. So I want to get a little bit to the meat and the potatoes, because I feel like a lot of people have tens of thousands of dollars a year they pay for these policies that we all need, and they have absolutely no idea what's going on. They realize that for their homeowners, they need it, and for their renter, their landlord wants them to have things. Or I rent for a shul. My landlord, I pay tons of money. He said, "I want you to have certain amounts of coverage," and then you just know you need it. So if we're going to educate the oil a little bit about different types of insurance, typical person that doesn't own a house yet, Pays $3,000 to $7,000 a month in Brooklyn for a beautiful condo. He has his wife's shekels, all his clothing, all his china, all his furniture, all his expensive beds. Maybe he has 200 grand, realistically, maybe 200 grand, $250,000 worth of personal assets. I find out from guys in shul they have zero insurance. Tell us a little bit about the world of renters insurance.
It's cheap. It's simple. It's easy. It takes probably 15 to 20 minutes to get if you really, if you try hard. Just call a broker like myself or anybody else. Talk to somebody who actually understands you. But it's really very simple. It's just make a mental list. And if you're worried about like how they're going to pay me on a claim, the best way to do it today is you just put it on your phone, go around the house, take a video, save it to the cloud, so you can at least show the insurance company after the fact, if something happens. Hey, I had this is what I had. So it's pretty easy. It doesn't take much. It's just about doing it, and we all hear unfortunate stories about a pipe break or
give me
fire.
a best case scenario of a renter's insurance policy and a worst case scenario where somebody didn't have the right policies.
I mean, there's who wants to wish better on anybody, but there's stories about people who there was a fire, the neighbor next door there's a fire from next door, damaged your place, you have to vacate your apartment, they damaged it, and then you have nothing. You have to go start scrounging around, and you have to like put everything on credit card for it. You're gonna get reimbursement insurance company. You have a policy, and it's not hard to do. It's not like
what does the premium look like price wise for?
Depends on how much inventory. Depends.
What's the ratio?
I mean, you can get something probably as low as $150 to $180 a year, literally.
What does that cover you? Up to
probably 25. Let's just use an average number of $25,000 in contents, maybe a little bit more, depending on who the carrier is and where you're living, and probably some silver automatically will be covered, including that policy, some valuables. They don't give you a lot, but they just give you an automatic throw in for it, and it can go obviously depending on how much stuff you have.
Is that 100x? How does the premium?
The premium decreases on the rate versus as you increase. So if you're going up, let's say to $150,000 in contents, which is, let's say, you can say it's 7x. The premium is not 7x. Maybe the premium will be 4x times that, something around that range.
Now, with a good renter's policy, a fire breaks out, God forbid, you all get out safe. There's nowhere to live. You need to find a new place to live. You have your whole entire family and children. You need emergency money to buy just some clothing, some food, and get into a hotel or a new apartment right away. How quickly do some of these policies...
Or does it cover at all?
No. You do get some loss of usage coverage, meaning you have to rent somewhere else for a while. Some renters' policies have it. Depending on who the insurance carrier is, it gives you an automatic percentage of your contents, of your possessions. So whatever amount you had, if you have $50,000 in contents, then you might have an automatic amount of $10,000 or $20,000, depending on the insurance company. So it really depends on the company. How fast?
Next day?
No, they won't give it to you the next day. But usually it's pretty quick on the loss of use. Meaning if you have to rent somewhere else, they're pretty quick about that. It's easy.
Week, month.
Yeah, within 2 weeks usually. It's an average. But on the contents, depends on how it's valuable, how much money you fight with them about it. Usually there's some front loaded money they give you a percentage, and they say, okay, we're going to hold back until you prove up the rest of it. So you always get something.
So all these chesed funds and emergency shul appeals because a guy's apartment got burnt or smoke or something. It's exactly like life insurance. People are not careful. I'm very angry at these people. They don't get life insurance. They think it's a joke. And now we have to have every chesed fund make a collection, another campaign. It's the exact same thing. You're saying a guy on a Monday afternoon could call you up, 15, 20 minutes, tell you about how much money content it is. You could go over how much you would be covered to move into a hotel or enough money to quickly get into a new condo or apartment until he gets resettled. And for a couple $100 a year, he's fully taken care of.
You can definitely get coverage very quickly. It depends on how much you need. Yeah, it's simple. Again, the chesed fund things are great. I think they're actually very important because the bigger the claim is, the less the insurance company wants to pay you. And they also want to, it schleps along. It takes longer and longer. So therefore, then they're like literally paying out of the credit card. So those are still necessities. They're still important.
Being in the art business, I know an artist who made his most money on a fire because he only sold, let's say in his gallery, he sold, 10, 20 paintings. So he has receipts, proof that his paintings are valued at, X amount. And because of that, his hotel went on fire and a lot of his art inside. And he made crazy money just from the claims on the fire insurance. He never made that money in real life in art sales, but only because he had the comps from real sales. Because when his art hit auctions, they did not perform that well. But when they sold in gallery in the fancy gallery in California, he has real receipts, real sales.
If I was the insurance company, I would want footage of when he made Mighty Mighty. I wonder what went on over
No
there.
comment. But Baruch Hashem for him.
No, so
great.
once he tells me, oh, his stuff are worth that much, I said, okay. He's like, it's sold. Anyway, it was just an anecdotal art insurance.
That's for renters policies. You sell car insurance?
I do car insurance, do building insurance, professional liability, all kinds of property.
So me as a simple car leaser, of course, from Wheels to Lease, we're all Wheels to Lease customers over here.
Wonderful.
My question
Cars
is,
to lease
he
is not
Herman?
that simple. You can buy a used car. It's not so simple.
no, but I'm just saying, me as a person that leases a car, and my last 2 cars and the car I have now are about the same value, and I'm not going to say names. One of the companies, it started off at X price. It's almost double the price, and I never made a claim. And every time I speak to my agent, great guy, he says it has nothing, it has to do with New York City, it has to do with crime, it has to do with the makes, to this, to that. He tells me you could save money by installing the app.
Sure, the tracker, sure.
Yeah, but it will only go into effect in 6 months now. He said, because I already had it in the past, so it has to whatever. If I take a driving defense course, but all these things are going to do minimal amounts. Car insurance is crazy expensive in New York City.
Yes.
What do you find with your thousands of customers, your portfolio? What is some of the tricks, legal tricks, to reduce the price of auto insurance in New York City? Because a lot of our viewers are in New York City.
Okay. So, number one is the rate. He's not wrong. The rates do stink. It's New York. It's because of the way the New York laws are, which are very much on the policyholder side. There's a lot of consumer protection. Number one, you have to shop out your car insurance. It's annoying. You have to do it. If you have an independent broker like myself, you can call them once a year and say, hey, listen, just take a look and see what's going on. Can't assume the broker is going to be able to do it every single time, but if you have the right algorithms or have the right programs in place, we do it anyways. That's neither here nor there.
Is there any website that you could search, or that doesn't exist yet?
They're all fake.
They're all fake. Okay.
Not fake, but like
Today in the
they're
gym,
not legit.
Today in the gym, I tried.
To me.
I got an advertisement saying how cheap, but they wanted so much information that I just deleted it in the middle.
Right.
They were about to ask me my height, blood type, who I like, who I don't like. I was like, okay, bye
What your
bye.
pant size are. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So things that you can do. First of all, you must take defensive driving. It's not a small amount of money. You're saving a good an average about 8% off the premium, and it's good for 3 years. So it's a no-brainer. It's going to cost you $80 to do. Online course might be annoying, but it's 100% worth it. So that's for sure.
I should take the course.
Absolutely.
6 hours or something? How long is it?
Nah, it's much shorter than that. No,
Driver
online course-
defense. So you're saying
Defensive
driver
driving.
defensive course?
Yes,
is a
one-
you must take it.
It's crazy not to. There's no mathematical number that's ever been that's like, oh, I took it and now I'm not saving enough money. It's never happened. If you have 2 cars in the family,
I've taken it in the past.
if you have 2 cars in the family, each driver in the household should take it because it's one driver per vehicle. So 100% do that. If you have the same carrier for your renter's insurance in your situation and an auto, there is a discount. Some carriers give it, even if you're not with the same company. So let's say let's use an example as Progressive, and they're not selling renter's insurance right now. Let's just use it as an example. But if you have the same broker, certain companies actually give you a discount as well, for whatever reason, because they want to be competitive with the Geicos of the world. So there are other options out there. There are other tricks. But I got to be honest with you, if you're a client of mine, I'm not going to start giving free advice to every other broker who's out there.
Right.
But there are good things that you can do. Again, all 100% legal.
Off the bat, check your insurance rates. Shop around how often?
Every year.
Every year, check your rates. And
Every
2,
year.
the driver defensive course is a minimum.
Absolutely. You can take
What do you think about these people who do out-of-state tricks? What's the legalities?
I'm very, very against it. I think it's very, very dangerous for them because New York law, the New York is expensive, right? We know this, but New York law is very much on the consumer side. So they're here to protect you. So if you lend your car to me, even if we have nothing to do with each other, we're not family members, nothing, they're still covered by the policy. Other states are not like that. Other state laws have different rules that apply. So there are certain communities who live in New Jersey half the time or most of the time or the summertime or whatever. And they're like, say, I want to register my car in New Jersey. It can get very tricky. If there's a claim, they can deny coverage. So the old story that, the guy, he did his insurance in New Jersey and he has a legitimate house in New Jersey, but he pays New York City tax. He's a primary residence is in New York. And he had his car was stolen outside of a place that either wedding hall or synagogue or whatever. And he had a very hard time. I think they got denied because they said, wait a minute, you're not really a resident.
So
of,
what
of
percent do you have to live? Like, let's say you live 6 months a year in two different cities. So what's considered your primary residence?
51%. I mean, you have to
That's
have
like
wherever you're paying
taxes.
taxes are. Wherever you're paying taxes are from that state is really what the legitimate one
There's a
is.
famous story about a guy in the Hamptons. He had residency in the Hamptons and in Manhattan, like all rich billionaires in the Hamptons. And he was claiming tax, I think in the Hamptons, maybe it was less than income tax in
Right.
Manhattan.
There's no city tax. Correct.
Right. And the IRS was sending out agents, and they kept checking his garbage every night. And they were checking his garbage, and they sued him, and they got back tons of money. They said, if there's no garbage, you're not there. People consume, they consume, and then you throw things out in the garbage. And it was upheld in court that garbage is a proof.
Yeah. I mean, there are guys now have apps now to track, so they make sure they're in Puerto Rico or in Florida, 51% of the time, enough days and that. So obviously it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
Do insurance companies love paying out? And which companies are better or worse?
No, I don't think any insurance company wants to spend money no matter what.
Okay.
It-
They want to take your money.
Yeah, yes. The rule is give us your money and we want to never give it back to you.
Gotcha.
That's the rule of thumb. That would be wonderful. Who's better or worse? It depends on what kind of insurance policy you're buying. Are you talking about car insurance?
House, car, I don't know.
So for car insurance, most insurance companies are all the same because of New York law, because of consumer protection. You have to be really garbage company to deny claims, because you can't really do that. There are those who are more thorough on their checking out. So they'll, if a body shop says, oh, this was really damaged, they might actually send out a guy to say this is damaged. Don't just send us pictures. So they're more critical about that. So if you want to try to say, oh, it's a total loss or it's a much larger loss than it is, which some body shops seem to do, they can get investigated.
So who's the cause for the crazy rates in New York? Is it these fake hit and runs? What are they called? These insurance personal injuries?
A lot of scams. There's a lot of scams.
So New York has more scams than other cities or
because
states.
of consumer protection. There's a lot of more scams to pay out a lot of claims on the medical.
It's a vicious cycle. The city has overreach of power, telling you that you have to pay everybody. A state, you have to overpay. You have to pay everybody out. So then people know they're going to get paid, so they make scams. They make scams. Now my rates go up. So it's a vicious cycle of bureaucracy overextending.
Sure, there's tons of cases where you can say like, oh, the guy, it was just a scam. And unless you literally have video proof on your car, which a lot of people I know now have these dashboard cams just to keep recording on that the whole time.
Do you recommend dash cams?
It doesn't make sense. It's crazy not to, because it can only help you, right? If you're doing everything right and somebody else is being a scammer, then there have been cases. I have a friend of mine who's had this exact situation. The guy literally went into him and he tried to put a scam, and they put the claim in the insurance company. He says, I got no problem. I got your video dash cam.
And cash about $50, not a lot of money, right? $30, not
It's about the maintenance, making sure the SD card, or making sure it's connected to the app, and making sure it's charged. It's like a typical thing. When you need it, it wasn't working.
Yeah. It happened to me. It happened to me in front of my house. My car was hit as it was literally parked. Guy drove away, and the insurance company would refuse to pay the claim. And I had a witness. I had the plate number. We did everything right, and the insurance company refused to pay. But I had a video, and I sent it to them, and they're like, oh, right away, automatically. They said, oh, the whole story changed. Here's a check. How much do you need? Where do you want to go?
I had the question, why cars don't have car chargers? And why don't they have dash cams? Like, these little stupid things cost $50 retail, a mess. And why don't they have accessories to actually put your phone somewhere? Why don't they have these little stupid features?
They put tens of thousands of dollars worth of junk that nobody knows how to use, but the accessory to actually hold your phone that you could use Waze.
A little dash cam and a little, all these little things they don't have in the phone.
Well, he just said
I'm
it
sure
might work against them, the dash cam. Oh, the insurance company would work.
Yeah, like,
the car company itself. Interesting. What do you think of the club? Like in the 90s, my father used to put the club on the steering wheel every night, and I thought it was ridiculous. But 2 years ago, my father's car, a Honda, I think it was a CRV, got robbed right in front of his house and gone, never seen again. I think they send it to another country, or they chop out the parts.
Chop it up, yeah. Sell the parts.
You think a $25 club from Amazon would have probably made a deterrence that they would just go for somebody else's car? No,
I think that if it really would have made a difference, the insurance company would have given you a discount for having it. So obviously, if they're not doing that, then they don't
give a discount for a club.
No, they don't give a discount for a club.
Club is an old thing.
You can snap it in 2 seconds. Apparently,
it's worthless.
How long does it take for your rates to go down as a minor? You're 18 years old. How long does it take to get?
Oh, you got 5 years minimum.
5 years before.
Yeah. It's if you have a kid on your policy, you are screwed for a long time. Send that kid to Israel so you can get them off your policy for a while, at least for a year, to save
And
yourself
if
the
it's a
money.
guest,
What's
you
that?
don't
If you
list
say
it?
they're in
I'm
Israel,
sorry.
you have to prove that they're out of the country?
You have to prove. Yeah. You have to give them proof. Yeah, usually yeshivas and seminaries, they all give you proof, documentation for it. It's happened many times.
No, if you see, what about you don't list them and they're just a guest, and then
You're talking about your kid
your
as a
kids,
guest?
yeah.
It really depends on your policy, when you got it, and how when you answer the question. So I'll tell you like this: the best thing I can tell you, if you want a trick, it's not a trick. If you're a person like myself who has kids of a certain age who have licenses, if you have the same insurance company and you just been renewing your policy each year, and your kids never had licenses, but now they got licenses, if they've never asked, you're not required to notify them. You can't lie to them. If they ask you, somehow they catch it. Like Progressive is very good about that. They use LexisNexis. They find data very, very quickly, but some companies don't. So even though you might be saying, "Oh my gosh, my insurance premium went up," and it's not right, and they're crazy, the price that you're paying for your rates are a lot cheaper if you had than if you had an 18-year-old driver on your policy, because that would be $3,000-$4,000 added to your policy cost. So you have to do it right, and that's why if you have a good broker, they can give you some guidance about where your circumstances are.
Fancy insurance like Chubb versus, I don't know, cheaper insurance. What's the difference?
For car or for just in home?
In general, it's just, I know they're
Chubb is the Rolls Royce. Chubb is the top
What
of the
does that
line.
mean
I'm an agent for
practically?
Chubb.
The check comes quicker on a payout? Like, what does it mean?
Bigger, better, faster.
I have a question that
You pay for what you get, and then some.
I have a question that I've asked this question
Do
multiple
they send you
times.
flowers when your house burns down, or they're not that fancy?
They might.
Okay.
I have a question that I've asked this question multiple times to people, and everybody
Gives you a
will
different
say,
answer?
"Oh, you're an Amaretz. It's so obvious." But when I actually call the credit card companies, and it's not to sound like I'm a racist or discriminating against anybody, and you get somebody in India where I understand every eighth or ninth word, and I'm making a $50,000, $100,000 decision. I have driver's insurance. I have insurance on my vehicle. I have American Express. I have all the fancy credit cards, et cetera, et cetera. When you land in Orlando, or you land in Miami, Yeshiva Week, and you get that Enterprise rent-a-car or a Six rent-a-car, whatever, and they try to convince you to buy the $20, $30 a day policies. They say bumper to bumper. You won't have to deal with any chaos. You could smash the car into the wall driving out. You never have to think about it. It gets my heartstrings going because I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't want to have to be on the phone with Amex or my car insurance for 6 months. It's a $50,000 bill. Or if God forbid I hit somebody and now I'm being sued. What should a renter have in mind? And there's people that listen to our show that are renting cars twice a month for business. What's the real answer?
Okay, so if you have a New York policy, I'm just going to base it from New York coverage. The liability portion is covered. You can rent a car in another state. I'm not going to say in every country, but in another state.
In layman terms, the liability part.
The liability is the lawsuit,
somebody else?
right? You hit somebody else and they sue you, right? They sue you. That's going to be covered by your personal auto policy, if you wanted to, right? So you can save yourself the money on that if it's worth it, so you don't, if you have a claim. But the theft and the damage, the theft and collision, the damage to that vehicle
that you rented
for the vehicle
I had
you're
a
renting in
Denali,
Florida.
it was like $100,000 car 2 weeks ago, maybe $100,000. If I have no coverage, if I take it, I just drive off the Six parking lot, I smash it right against the wall, and they say it's $12,000 in damage. Who could I bother if I didn't buy collision?
You're in big trouble.
My insurance policy on my car in New York does not cover it.
From all the experience I've ever had on the theft and the damage to the vehicle itself, you're not covered for it.
And
you should always buy
Amex,
from insurance for that.
And Amex.
Amex, I haven't read their forms, and they change it, by the way. They change it. I've been doing this for 30 years. They have changed the language, so I'm not gonna, from what I've seen. So I don't want to comment on
I
that.
had experience with Geico, rental car, and they covered it.
It's amazing.
On
That's
damage.
great. That's great.
It was a loaner car. My car was in the shop. To me, that's why it was
That's a
covered.
loaner car. I'm talking about
loaner
every
rental,
guy.
loaner rental.
A loaner rental. It's the same idea. He's saying loaner rental. That's great. That's
So
great.
again-
don't count on that.
Again,
I would not count on that.
Okay.
I go to California. I'm going to California next month. I get into the Avis parking lot, and I have to make that decision. Should I pay the extra $25 a day for bumper to bumper, what they call? You're saying
The theft and collision, you should
Definitely
get.
not.
Don't trust that
you're covered under your
policy.
regular car insurance,
Correct.
or it's something to consider.
Maybe the credit card company will do it. I'm not going to talk about credit card, what they offer in the credit card.
Because what do you do when you travel?
The liability is on my own personal auto
Right.
policy,
Uh-huh.
and the theft and collision, I pay.
You pay.
I pay. I'm rather do it. I'd rather be safe than
You don't
sorry.
use
Say I
your
know
credit
go after
card.
So you
that.
see, it's amazing because you ask all the guys in the yeshiva, they go, "Oh, never! It's a scam."
Again,
and you're doing it
it's not-
30 years. You buy it.
I don't take chances. I try to minimize risk. I don't want to trust that my credit card, if I use the right credit card, which one is the right credit card that does it? Oh, I'm using my Chase Premier, Inc., this, that. It's simple. It's a small amount of money for me personally. I'd rather do it and just know it's done and taken care of by them and leave me alone and I'm done.
Now, even though thank you very much for clarifying this. Now, even though you said that New York is very pro the consumer, when you have a $60,000, even a Mazda CX-9, it could be a $60,000 car today. There's a lot of stuff in every car. When you want to lend your car out, your brother-in-law says, "Oh, I'm here from England. I'm here from Israel. I want to borrow your car for a week." And I'm always like, if I had an old jalopy, Kovel, banged-up car, it's like one thing, but I have a nice car. Is there a reason to be paranoid to lend people your car? Like or you're usually covered no matter what you say?
No, you'll be covered.
Yeah.
If it's a New York policy, you'll be covered. I wouldn't suggest you let somebody else borrow your car, but
are there times
because
where
you're going to get the lawsuit, right? No matter what, it's your policy it's covering. So if God forbid they get into an accident, they come after you, unfortunately.
Driverless cars, will that put you out of business, Pinchas, on insurance?
I don't care about car insurance enough that it's going to put me out of business. I do a lot of other things besides car insurance, and I'm happy to talk to you about car insurance for as long as you want.
Right.
But that's not where my focus
Bread
is.
and butters.
Yeah.
What about Fleet?
actually,
Isn't Fleet a good?
People pay a lot of money, but car insurance is one of the two things that I try to avoid dealing with. I'll do it for anybody who asks me. I'll give them advice, and I'm happy to make money. I'll sell it. But because it always goes up, even if you don't use it at all, and they're always upset. So like, why would I want an unhappy customer? And they're always going to be unhappy because the price is always going to go up. So I'm always happy to.
Last question: is there ever a time you lend somebody your car in car insurance? Oh. Is there ever a time you lend somebody your car and you should have not lent them the car and you're not covered for a claim?
I can't think of any.
Maybe
a commercial auto is a commercial auto policy.
License was suspended. You were supposed to know about that.
Not loved off.
It could be that you'll still be covered.
Yeah, it could be still be covered. Commercial auto is a little bit more tricky because the rules on that policy is a little different. So if you have a commercial, it's a company on the company car, even if it's a regular nice car or whatever, Lexus, whatever you want to call it, but you can still have a little more problems. But regular personal auto, you usually don't have an issue. As long as the person has a license, if you're not giving to a 14-year-old cousin, nephew, or niece, then you have a big problem.
Clap, you want to talk about the sponsors?
I love talking about our sponsors. First of all, I want to welcome to the club this week. I hope they become a more permanent sponsor as well. We have Sweet Expressions, my friends Rachmiel Jacobson,
Mendy,
and his wonderful son Mendy. They have two gorgeous locations, and Sweet Expressions is not only the most amazing ice cream shop, but they also do chocolate platters and gifts. Shalachmanis is around the corner. If you stay by people in Crown Heights, they'll deliver to anybody in Crown Heights.
They'll ship everywhere.
They'll ship everywhere around the whole world.
This Shalachmanis, actually,
this Shalachmanis is a stunning Shalachmanis.
Guess how much it costs?
It's on a platform, two gorgeous mugs.
Yeah.
A bottle of grape juice, sparkling grape juice, a box of chocolate wafers, cellophane wrapped, a bow. This will make somebody know you appreciate and care for them. Guess how much it costs, Pinchas?
$60?
$40.
Nice.
I don't know what the shipping is.
Who said Shalachmanis has to be expensive?
Use a promo code WELCOME10 for 10% off.
Oh, yeah, welcome 10?
Yep. So they ship nationwide. They're great.
We also want to welcome our corporate sponsor, Schmerling Chocolate.
Oh.
Specifically.
And Schmerling Chocolate has a huge variety of kosher Pesach year-round chocolates, Parav and Milchik. The miners, we love the miners because you get a pack of 4 or you could buy them loose and then you could just give them out in Shalachmanis. You could tape them down to your Shalachmanis, have the Shahakal bracha in a quality, beautiful item. We got a case of these all day long. We're eating these chocolates. It's like breakfast, lunch, dinner. We're wolfing down these minor
That's why you
chocolates.
go to the gym so much.
And we have to go to the gym to walk off the Schmerlings. Delicious.
Most premium kosher chocolate brand that exists today.
Schmerling is definitely. Now, when it comes, every week we talk about Raskin's most amazing fishes. Shabbos in my house is amazing. We go every Friday. We pick up all our fishes, our cured salmons, our pickled salmons. But some people say, Izzy, you always talk about herring. Do they do anything else besides herring? I want to tell you something. When you go to any fine kosher grocery store in the world, this is the only gefilte fish you take out of the frozen section aisle.
Sounds like
the Raskins.
Sounds like you're being paid to say that.
The Raskins, it's so delicious. It's so delicious. We made
have
some.
the fish. Yeah, here we go.
We made some gefilte fish.
Who made it?
We cooked it. My wife cooked it.
They had a cool cutout.
You trust? You trust that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
They had a cool cutout. You could take a selfie picture with the old
I'm being stingy. I'm only giving you a half a piece.
Yeah.
A little Raskin's horseradish. Horseradish? You want some horseradish?
No, grain.
Grain?
We don't. No, we're good. Thank you, though.
This is the most delicious. I'm smelling this the whole show. I can't wait to get my hands on this Raskin's gefilte fish. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol neh b'dvari.
Great.
I gotta get another piece. Once you pop, you can't stop.
There's many different varieties and qualities of fish, b'chlal, gefilte. I didn't realize. Some are for school, some are for retail, for this, with flavors, salmon.
Now, when it comes to tuna fish, a lot of people don't like making it themselves. The quality of the ready-made classic tuna from Raskin's, it's such a high-quality tuna. I don't know a lot about tunas. It's probably like a bluefin. They use like the bluefin and the stuff they use for their...
line.
You can't get this. The competitors just don't know.
And
They don't know.
Hey, to note that our guest here, Pinchus Chein, is a fine connoisseur of liquids.
Of liquors.
Liquids, liquors, whiskeys in specific. What about one or two more sponsors? Are we going to get a little l'chaim break?
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna
I need a
get out to
shrink. I need a
We're
shrink.
gonna get
So
out
I
to
need to clean
l'chaim.
out. I need to clean out my palate from the
So
fish.
Pinchas is a huge connoisseur of fine liquors, and I asked him to bring something special onto the show. So tell us a little bit about this bottle.
Sure. So this is called White Heather. It's the 21-year-old blended single malt. Splendid Scotch. It's actually not only single malt, but single grain as well. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't worry about it. It's a blend.
What does that mean?
So basically,
What does blend mean?
A blend means from multiple distilleries. He takes the liquid from multiple distilleries. He blends them together to make a specific taste and palate. The youngest age of the liquid that's in here, the youngest, is 21 years old. So that means it could have 40-year-old juice. It could have, but it's from multiple distilleries.
And
he
what
wants
is
a fun
more
flavor.
years? What does it mean?
Well,
It tastes different when it's older?
yeah, as it
In what
ages in the
way?
barrel, as the whiskey ages in the barrel, it has the profile,
Sweeter?
the flavor. Just different.
Different. Why is
Could
it
be
more
sweeter.
expensive?
Could be. Why is it more expensive?
Yeah.
Because time is money, and so the longer it's in the barrel,
Many
you're
people,
getting a more
many
evaporation
people I've
for it.
spoken to in the last few days when I told them that you're coming on the show, they said this guy knows more about whiskeys.
Than insurance.
And
I hope. I hope not. I have
They said
not
he's-
been. I've not been in.
They
in
said
the
he's world
whiskey
famous, and you agreed in the car that you've been to many distilleries around the world.
I have. I've been to
How did
Scotland
you-
6 times.
And Kentucky.
Kentucky 5 times.
Tell us, how did you get into this?
As with every good story, there's just an older person who was into the mashka. Not an old lady, but this was a little bit older guy than me. I said, just try this, and it was
That's
very
what you-
tasty.
that's-
It was
Can we get a taste?
absolutely. I'm sorry. Yes.
Fab, when you're that successful in your business and you have money, you don't know what to do with it. So you start finding rich hobbies.
While
That's
he's
what it
This
is.
is not a rich hobby. You can get something very good for a very cost-effective price.
I'm just letting you
This
know.
is made by
Read
Billy
be-
Walker.
Read
from
between
the
the
Glen Alki
lines. Read
Distillery.
between the lines,
He's
Clappy.
80 years old. He's still in the industry, and he's still creating and
How much,
blending.
how much is this bottle?
Probably about a 175 to 200.
Yeah, penny. That's what a car
not
lease.
penny.
That's what a car lease is. When you go to Wheels to Lease for a Nissan Sentra, you pay less than
That's what it's
$200
here.
a month.
That's what
so
it's
you
here.
could get. Well, you can't drink and drive, but you
Exactly.
you could get this bottle for about the same price as getting a car lease for a month.
So hopefully, I didn't give you too much.
Were you supposed to smell it before? What's the?
You
what's-
can smell it
Do
if
you
you
usually
want.
smell it?
I always smell. You actually, what you do is instead of smelling with your nose, you try to keep your mouth open, and then you breathe in. You put it under your nose, and then you breathe in with your mouth because their senses are connected.
Ah,
You breathe in with your mouth?
Breathe in with your mouth. And
You breathe in your mouth. You put it
keep
under your
mouth
nose.
open.
Keep your mouth open. You keep it under your nose, and you breathe in with your mouth, and you'll get some flavors in there. Do you know that if you close your nose completely and you eat a jelly bean, if you really close it completely, you won't even know what that taste is because your senses are connected.
You have to go like this a few times.
You do not have to do
You
that.
have to swirl?
You do not have to swirl.
Only wine.
I don't know anything about wine. I'm very happy to know that would be an expensive hobby. I know a little bit of whiskey because I enjoy experiencing
How
it.
many different varieties of bottles have you ever drank in your life?
Oh, many.
Over 1,000?
Yes.
Over 5,000?
Probably. Again, it could be from one distillery. You could have 100 different versions. of
Blind
something.
test. How many? How good are you?
I don't know. I've
A
never
$20
I've tested
bottle.
myself
A $20 bottle from a $1,000 bottle. You could tell in your sleep.
most of the time.
What
Yeah,
percent of the time?
99% of the time. For
Wow.
between 20 and 1,000,
Yeah.
that's
So
but it's
where's
not
the
a
gray
1,000.
area?
But no, again, $20 means it's a cheap product, high in alcohol, low in taste and flavor, and depth and all the funny
I
things.
already made a bracha on the water. Let me taste this.
Okay, I don't mind. Fine.
Everybody knows the rule. One swig. Ooh, it's good.
But look where he does it. I'm just analyzing how he drinks it.
No, I want to just keep it in my mouth. I want to get the flavors
I
in
feel
there.
like I have tastes of berries and vanilla.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For real?
For real.
You just made that up, Clappy?
No, I made it up, but I think I tasted it.
Sure. You get a lot of times stone fruits, things of that, that type of nature. Certain types of casks of wood that the whiskeys as aging in will give you certain flavors, right? So you have bourbon casks, right, from Kentucky. They sell the barrels after they use it once. You sell it to Scotland, and so those whiskeys that are in there will have a vanilla-ish taste after a couple number of years as it's sitting there as aging. And when you change into other types of barrels, and people have cautious issues, but wine casks and sherry casks and all those type of things will give you different flavor profiles.
Class, you finish the
Are you the
sponsors?
are you the most popular guy at the Kiddush and Shul?
Usually. Usually, if I bring something, that's why I usually just have a kiddush in my house, and it's much easier.
Can we do a finish the sponsor there?
So,
Yes.
CH Butcher?
our first sponsor ever,
CH Butcher?
CH Butcher. They have the most gorgeous restaurant on Troy Avenue. You do not need to go to Manhattan.
I've
Like
been
if you're snowed in the next couple of days
I've been
because
there.
they can't plow the city, and you live in Brooklyn or you're in Crown Heights, just walk over to CH Butcher on Troy Avenue. The most delicious food, great service.
And if you wanted to go,
And if you want it to go, you go to their deli. They have a beautiful deli on
the box.
Albany Avenue,
Okay.
or the frozen
there we go.
food section where they have beautiful, ready-to-go food. So if you don't
Kibbeh.
want to cook dinner and you want no artificial ingredients, you want your children to have home-cooked meals, you go to the butcher. You go to the frozen section in your butcher or your grocery store, and you ask them for CH Butcher products. Syrian kibbeh, delicious.
A1. What about A1, Clappy?
We're gonna get to
Oh, we just saw them this morning.
In the middle of
Sunday
a
morning,
snowstorm, on a
snowstorm.
Sunday morning in a snowstorm, I'm at a big shul in Crown Heights. I see a 18-wheeler pull up.
Not 18-wheeler, like 28-footer.
It was
26? What are those trucks?
Huge truck.
Insurance
very
guy.
large.
What's the biggest truck you could have without getting a CDL? I think it's 26.
I don't even keep track. I don't know.
Okay.
I think probably.
So they have
maybe.
trucks that you need a CDL. They have
Yeah,
big
I think
trucks.
a lot of them have to have. depending
Anyhow,
on-
they pull up. They're taking out fancy wicker chairs, tables, cabinets, stuff were going on. Workers all had smiles. And I was telling myself, when you have a huge event, you're planning a bar mitzvah, a bas mitzvah, it's for your child, you raise them, or you're making a wedding, and you want to hire a company that's going to do all the party rentals, all the drapery, all the curtains, tablecloth, everything, the tables, the chairs, the cabinets, the vanities, everything. You don't want to think about the weather. I was speaking to my friends at A1 today, our new corporate sponsor. I was speaking to them, and they said for the entire week they were on the phone with every person making an event this week, and they went through when we're going to do the deliveries.
So if you want to have a party and not have it in your living room,
Yeah, if you want to
You
have a
put your
party,
tent.
well, if you want, they'll do an event for you, and you can do it in your. They
I'm
can do
saying, let's
tents.
say you want to mess up
They're
your
doing it in
house.
your driveway. No, they've done some great job. They're
do
doing
great
your
job.
driveway.
Driveways,
They've done
tents,
back of the shul.
Back of the show.
Amazing.
Well, you call my friends at
Does your
A1
insurance
Party
cover?
Rental.
Hold on, does insurance cover tent parties on your property or not?
If you have the right policy from the right broker,
There
sure.
we go.
A1 Party Rentals. It's where it's happening. And again, Wheels to Lease. My friend Saul Hershkop at Wheels to Lease. They will get you into a car in minutes, and it will be in your driveway usually within a few hours.
His number one guy, I'd say Izzy Herman.
Oh, Izzy Herman's my buddy.
Davins my shul.
Wow.
You know, I'm good friends with Izzy Herman.
Oh, now all the pieces will come together. Now we got it.
Back to the show.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Back to the show.
Off
We
car
covered
insurance.
the cars. We covered a little bit of your background, how you got into this amazing industry, your hobby of whiskey, and I'm sure the Olam's going to love it because we got some whiskey drinkers.
Do
Tell
you do
me,
hold on, does the whiskey consulting come free if they get a policy with you?
Absolutely. I'll talk about it all day after hours, after work hours, but I'll have to talk about it.
let me ask you a question. A guy has $50,000 worth of whiskey in his home. I have relatives that have crazy amounts of money. I mean, some bottles, they tell me, one bottle
Sure.
could be between $2,000 and $10,000.
Or more.
One bottle. I have
more.
stories they showed me.
Yeah, or more.
So it's not anymore like in my house, 2 bottles that I got from Shalach Manis that I sold with the chametz, or 3 bottles, or even 4 bottles. People that are paying for one bottle, $1,000 to
Crazy
$10,000.
money, sure.
How do you sell them insurance for their homeowners? It could be the whiskey is the most expensive thing in their home.
Probably. The most policies will cover a standard bottle, $100, $200, very simple. But if you want to be smart about it, if you actually have a real collection, just like you do with jewelry or silver, those things are not covered by a regular standard policy. You actually have to get a separate rider for it. Usually you try to get a separate policy for it. So if you have a claim, let's say a piece of jewelry, for example, and somebody loses their piece of jewelry, it's not covered by your homeowner's policy. But if you have a separate policy for the jewelry, it's covered separately, and it doesn't affect your claims on your homeowner's policy. Same thing with whiskey. If you have a collection of whiskey or artwork, right? Very beautiful artwork, it's not covered by your regular policy. So you really want to make sure that you can make a list for it. It's not that hard. Some companies are more easy than others. Sometimes they want photos, sometimes they don't. Receipts sometimes not, as long as you're keeping a good inventory. And you can insure it separately. They have a separate rate for it, meaning for every $100 of value of coverage, they charge you a certain percentage.
What's the craziest claim you ever seen?
I can't talk about it. I actually can't talk about it.
What was the most obvious fraud attempt that you ever seen? It's a
almost,
story.
It's almost the same. It's
the same question?
It's almost the same. Almost the same.
Just say you can't say the story?
Somebody had said that he had a certain amount of inventory of goods, and he wanted, but he was doing horribly in business. He was having a hard time, and he tried to put a claim in, and it turned out to be fraud.
How'd they catch him?
You go through records. Again, if an insurance company doesn't want to pay you, the bigger the claim is, the less the insurance company wants to pay you. So they're going to investigate. They're going to want more documentation, more and more. So it was, after a while, it was obvious. I mean, it was obvious when he had the conversation with me about it. So, I said, talk to your accountant, talk to your inventory manager, do we have to make a list? But
what was the biggest payout you ever saw?
$2.7 million.
Was it a house, inventory?
It was inventory. Maybe it might have been a little bit more. I think that was just for the contents itself, just for the inventory.
Blood, fire?
Fire and water damage, because the fire.
The fire department
sprinkler,
sprinkles.
Right? The sprinklers, right? So it was both. That was without the loss of income they had, because that was the old school business that they were running out of operations out of the place, so they basically had to stop. So they were out of commission for a few months, and they lost a lot of income from it as well.
Do you think AI will take away insurance agents?
Many of them, yes. At some point, many of them.
Does that worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me. There is a touch of humanity you need to have with somebody you have to trust. You can't trust AI, at least for now. Even if you could, looking out for your interest to make sure you're being taken care of. So the AI is really working for the behest of whoever's programming them, which is either the insurance company or a larger, technology insurance tech, like brokerage office that's just trying to sell you something in between. So you don't know what you're buying.
A guy calls you up on a Monday afternoon. He already has homeowners insurance. He already has a business owner's policies. He already has car insurance. And he wants to schmooze with you about all the policies for the next hour. How do you know if the guy's wasting your time? Or like how do you in general in life, but we like asking business people, how do you know, at what point do you say, are you going to give me your business? Or you can't say, are you going to give me the business?
I never say I'm going to give you the business. Usually a person's calling me is because there's something that they don't either trust, or they want to just verify that what they have is the right thing. The reason people call me is because I'm just going to tell them the truth brutally and honestly, no matter what. So if I feel like they have the right insurance policy, they send me the policy and I look it over and I say, listen, and I ask the right questions and I say, okay, you have a good thing here. You should keep with it. This is the right thing. Now, if they're not happy with their broker, or they're not happy with the TLC they're getting, right? The service, I don't know, they just can't reach the broker on the phone because he's never available. He's too busy selling to somebody else. There's a certain level of unhappiness they have. And so they say, listen, you have the right thing. If you want me to take over, if you're not happy with your broker, but if you're happy with a broker, especially if it's in my community, in the people that I know, either friends of mine or not, even if they're not friends of mine, but it's a good product, good policy, I'm going to tell them, hey, listen, you have a good thing.
I want to know if a guy's driving crazy to buy some old book, at what point do you just ignore the call? Is there any litmus tests?
I never ignore a call. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. You can call me.
Books. He's just annoying, asking a million questions. Insurance. He never buys a policy. Yeah, at one point, just
tons. Every year, I have probably 5-6 years in a row. The same person calls me and emails me a copy of the policy and say, "Can you do better?" That's because the person doesn't have any loyalty. So for me, I say, a lot of times I'll just tell them I can't do anything better. I think you have a great thing, even if I don't even look at it after a while.
Because if he's not loyal to that guy, he won't be loyal to you either.
Correct.
The other question is, this is a really big one, because there's companies that only sell through their exclusive agents.
Like Allstate or State Farm.
Yeah. So some of these guys I like because they're nice people, but they're only pushing their one product. You sell many companies.
Correct. I'm an independent broker.
So you could go to a database and you could see all the prices, and you have thousands of experiences working with all these companies.
You don't do every single one. Like you don't sell Geico, right? Geico.
Right, Geico is direct writer. They won't. I won't sell that. But I always tell somebody advice, especially if they call car insurance or other things. Say, listen, here's my advice. Try this, try that. For example, I refer people sometimes to David Kievman, the Allstate agent. I think he's a very nice guy. He only sells Allstate.
That you mentioned his name. That's who I have. That's who I have renters and car insurance from.
Great guy. He can only sell Allstate. But if I am doing, let's say, car insurance for somebody, and they say, I shop it out, and I say, look, these are the prices that you have, but let me try one more place, because in the end, I'm garnering loyalty over the long run. So if somebody comes to me and says, I have Geico now and I want to shop it out, I'll quote all my companies, and I'll also send it sometimes to David and say, hey, David, can you do anything for this client? And if he has the best deal in the best circumstance, I say, go to David, just do it directly. I won't make the sale, but hopefully they'll remember that I came to them and I gave them the honest truth. And because I'm just trying to help a person out.
Do you mark up the premiums, or it's all set?
It's probably illegal.
Brokers charge fees. I don't like to charge fees, and I try not to charge fees. If I don't make any money, a lot of times there's certain situations where the insurance commission is zero. Basically, you have to charge it, meaning you get a net. So the deal with that specific company is we give you an amazing product, but you charge a fee yourself. It's very rare, very, very rare. That's always disclosed up front. Like, listen, I'll shop it out. This is the best I have for you, but I have to charge you a fee because I don't make any money from it. So I have to charge a fee. I have an annual fee that I'm going to charge you for.
So if a guy gets a $4,000 auto insurance policy that company doesn't let you mark it up, but you spend 3 hours putting together the policy, you could charge him a couple of $100 as a consultation.
If I get zero commission, I've worked on many accounts which I make very small commission. I'll make 4% commission on it. If it's the best deal for the client, I will give it to them. If there are reasons to go with a better product, not with car insurance, I'll say with homeowners insurance product, there are better quality carriers, or better quality means easier on paying claims, easier on inspections, easier on other situations, or other things. Then, I don't charge fees in general. 99%.
We focused a lot of the show on car insurance because it's exciting and a lot of people have cars. Let's talk about homeowners insurance. A guy lives on Bedford Avenue. He has a home he built for $4.5 million just to build it. A couple $100 a square foot, $5 million to build it. He paid for the property $5 million. This is all real numbers. Mm-hmm. A guy has a $9 million home, and we were driving by Bedford Avenue on Friday. There's thousands of these homes. So you're looking at a $10 million item over here.
Not really, because the replacement cost, the land is still the land.
The land is the land.
The cost to rebuild is the cost is where the numbers are.
So the cost to build.
So you buy a house in Crown Heights. Yeah, so you buy a house in Crown Heights for $1 million, but the square footage is 1,500 square feet. The replacement cost is only going to be what, $300 a square foot, $400 a square foot, $500 if you want to push it.
Okay.
So the replacement cost is always going to be less than the purchase price, no matter in a normal situation.
So you're buying insurance now on this Bedford Avenue home for a $5 million.
Right.
What I don't own a home yet. So tell me what. That a lot of people that are listening, what is there to look at when it comes to buying?
How many different levels of insurance?
Right.
What's a basic? Do you have to insure a period? Is it legal requirement if you don't have a mortgage?
If you don't have a mortgage, you don't have to buy insurance. But
you legally have to have zero homeowners insurance if you don't have a mortgage.
There's no requirement.
Interesting.
If you have no lender that requires from you, whether a HELOC or a mortgage, nobody's requiring you to get insurance.
Are there people that do self-insurance?
There are people who have done it. People who have paid off their mortgages. Elderly people. Oh, it's too much money. People who have, let's say, in this situation, a very big house, an old house in the Ditmas Park area. All those old houses. And they're like, listen, I paid off my mortgage 10 years ago. I'm spending crazy money, what they feel is crazy money, on having home insurance. And now they're like, I don't want to do it. And it costs them, there's a claim. They're in big trouble. They're going to have $1,000.
There's nothing.
In Florida, people are not doing it because the premiums went so high. No, the condos and stuff.
Florida is a crazy situation. Florida, but it's cyclical though. The rates go up and the rates go down. It's much more fluctuating.
On a $5 million house on Bedford Avenue, and you have a mortgage and they force you to get insurance. What is the most basic insurance that they'll let you get away with? The
loan amount. So that they'll get you you have to buy enough to just buy for the loan amount. So if if such a policy, somebody who's spending that kind of money, I rarely had a situation where a person says, I don't care about my insurance. Give me the highest deductible, give me the crappiest insurance that I can get. I don't care about that, because usually if they put all that money into it, they actually want to get paid. So yeah, it might cost you $25,000 to get a policy. Or it could be cheaper because if it's a new bill, but whatever. Like, you can get something, for expensive policy. But yeah,
credit score, how does that affect your rates?
It will. You don't see it. but there are tiers in the insurance industry for anything under your personal name. There is an insurance score. So your credit score does have an impact. You can't really see it because it doesn't say to you, oh, well, you have a 800 versus a 600, and that's why we're giving, different pricing for that. But it definitely has an impact. That's why we always run it with both people, husband and wife, because sometimes the insurance score of one versus the other actually will be better for whatever reason. Sometimes even if the husband's spending more money, the wife has a better insurance score for whatever reason.
In a downturn like now, do people take less insurance?
Yes, they try to cut down on their insurance costs and their coverages and what can I save on. They will go with companies that are cheaper quality, lower ratings, less coverage, just to save some money, to shave off costs for them. So they do that. I actually have them sign off that they're going against my advice to do that sometimes, depending on what they take away.
What about people, like, it's very popular, these guys are buying these summer homes and these upscale cool bungalow colonies where they're like paying cash. They're like buying them for $300,000-400,000. The banks won't give them more than $100,000. A lot of cash deals. They put a ton of money into them, which is all out of their own pocket. No mortgage, no loans. A guy has a bungalow colony that, according to the bank, there's almost nothing going on the mortgage, and there's $1 million property going on. What do you tell people upstate for these homes? So they're not really being forced to do these policies. So
you can do cheap or you can do good. If you want to be cheap, you can get a cheap policy, and it'll pay you some fire basic stuff, but it won't be anywhere near the end. The insurance company will try every which way to screw you out of a claim because you underinsured it. So there's insurance language that's there. Insurance is a contract. It's 100 pages behind it, not just the first page that they give you and they say, here's their price and here's how much you have. There's all this insurance language behind it. So if you don't know the language and you don't ask your broker, like, what am I covered for or not covered for? Or, like, am I covered for everything, not everything, et cetera? If you're not asking the question, you're just like, I just want something cheap. If something happens, you're going to get screwed.
Not that I tell people to have this lifestyle or don't tell people to have this lifestyle, but a lot of from people today own multiple Rolexes. This is a fact.
Sure.
Guys in shul that used to have a Seiko watch for $200 now have a Submariner and a Yachtmaster and a Deep. It's a fact. I'm not Hashkafa. Hashkafa, there's other shows that will tell you, don't buy a Simpson watch.
I'll insure it with a Seiko, and I'll insure
I'm not going into the Hashkafa.
Patek Philippe is, I believe.
Patek Philippe is the Royal Oaks. I'm not getting into Hashkafa.
Beautiful
watches. Guy that has 5 or 6 watches, and it's easily $150,000-200,000. What should he be doing tonight when he watches the show? Because most of them have nothing.
Call your broker, get it insured. It'll cost you, depending on where you live, there's a rate, again, just like with the whiskey and jewelry. It's just considered jewelry.
What is usually what percent of the value is it? 2% a year? 1%?
It really depends on where you live. I mean, in Brooklyn, it's probably about 2.75%
of the
value annually.
So now it could be $2,000-3,000. That's a big expense.
Yes, it is a big expense, but you have something, if you're wearing it all the time and it falls off your wrist, right? Your home insurance policy will not cover you.
What do you mean falls off your wrist?
If you lose an item.
You lose it, you're covered?
You lose it, you're covered.
Not only if you get held up at gunpoint, but if you lose it, they're covered?
It's called mysterious disappearance. Why do you think the rates are so expensive in Brooklyn? Because there are claims. People say, oh, I lost it. And then, they have to go through the process of, proving it was lost, et cetera. But they get paid out. So there's a lot more claims.
Because you mentioned a few minutes ago that there's 2 ways of getting either a ride-on your policy. So let's say you have a homeowner's insurance with a company that you represent, and the guy says, I have $150,000 worth of watches, which not even a lot of watches. It could be 2 watches. And now pay an extra few $1,000s. Or there's a separate company that sells for these, just for the one. In general, because you mentioned it, what do you usually tell people? Get a separate policy?
Always get a separate policy.
Separate policy.
Think about it. If you have a watch that's $50,000 and you lose it or it's stolen, and it's on your homeowner's policy. Now you have a homeowner's claim of $50,000 on your policy. So now you're getting screwed on your homeowner's policy. If you have a mortgage, your rates are going to go up. Your escrow is going up. It affects you.
Separate.
Right.
So the whiskey collections, the watch collections, the jewelry collections, the art collections get a separate policy, not a ride-on.
Correct.
Art is what, 2% also around?
I think art is even cheaper. I think it's maybe like not even 1%. I think silver is 0.4. I think it's something like that.
Silver's very expensive today.
Who's wasting the most money in premiums? Who do you say these people are all getting? So they should be really reviewing their policies to save money.
I mean, every consumer has the potential of wasting. I don't think there's a specific person that does it. I think in this economy, people are much more cognizant and they're very, they're careful and, they're asking questions. I don't think there's any specific person that says, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm just spending money. I mean, God bless those people. I would love to have those kind of clients, but, a good broker, if they have a good broker, they're being It's being taken care of because they're overseeing everything, and they do a review. Sometimes, hey, let's go over it. Let's see where your situations are. What's going on? What's happening with you?
Another similar situation to like renting a car, what to get. We're going to Shem Teretz Yisrael for my son's Nachas phone after Shavuos. And every time you travel, no, I'm saying in general, anybody you travel to family, people like I have one sister, Shelly says, did you buy traveler's insurance that you're covered if anything happens during the vacation? And again, these things are even only cost $100 or $200.
Yeah,
but
it's cheap.
What happens if you don't buy it? I'm saying.
What happens if you don't buy it? If something were to happen to you, constitutional? I mean,
what do they usually cover?
Hospital bills.
What are hospital bills?
Also, it covers you for a lot of the medical, the medical expense. A lot of people just get it for the medical expense, not because something got canceled. People buy that kind of coverage because of like, oh my God, they have to use a hospital. I have to use the hospital. I use a doctor. Right.
So if you're traveling with a family to Israel or Australia or London, and you're going on a trip, multiple tickets. And then, God forbid, somebody gets sick on the trip, they'll cover full medical expenses usually?
Yeah, like a reimbursement of your expenses, correct.
This is the policies that you would deal with?
I don't sell them.
You don't sell travelers insurance?
They stopped selling it through brokers. They basically said, we don't need you. You can do it on an online portal. It's easy. It's simple.
You buy it?
I buy it for the longer trip, like for bigger trips. Like I was away for a few days. I went to London to visit some family.
Does it cover pre-existing?
So it's like you went to London for a few days to visit family. You did not. I
didn't buy it.
But if you would have went with the entire family,
yeah, it's a real family, right? Correct.
Because people are going to watch, they're going to want to know.
But also, I have health insurance, right? So if I have health insurance with a good insurance policy for health insurance, then I'm, they can take care of me for, that situation as well, reimbursement. But if somebody doesn't have health insurance or they just have like a, something very basic, they're getting it they got it through Yellow Yalda or, from Obamacare or whatever, and they're like, wait a minute, am I covered for outside or not? They should absolutely
When you said Yellow Yalda, you mean that they help
people find the coverage for Obamacare.
Right. There's a new thing that I saw advertised a few places where it's Yiddish company, Refuah, with a
health network.
You sell a health insurance?
My partner does all the health insurance work, but yes.
So your agency could help people with health insurance?
Group health insurance. We only do it for groups.
So group health insurance. You have a company, 10 workers. You got to get your workers insurance.
Yeah, one worker. Doesn't matter how many.
Pinchus Chein, you sell group insurance.
Yeah, for the
health
company.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Health insurance, I hear, is crazy now.
Absolutely not.
A family policy can be 30, 40 grand for basics.
Correct. That's why the referral health network might actually make sense for the right people in the right circumstances. People have to do their own research because it's not a health insurance plan. It's like
not guaranteed.
It's a network. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're structured, so I don't want to talk about it. But they can answer it. But they're very nice people. They can really answer all your questions about how they're structured, if it makes sense for you.
If you have a fleet, when does it make sense for your company to self-insure? How does that work?
On vehicles?
Vehicles, yeah.
I don't think you can. Almost
they have these. Don't they have? I know.
You have to be really large to do that. Like really, really large.
You probably have to have a lot of money in a bank account.
Yeah. It's not really self-insuring because you're getting. It's a whole other beast. It's a whole complicated situation.
I know it's hard to get commercial truck insurance in New York City. I heard it's almost impossible.
It's a nightmare. There's very few markets that want to do it. Especially the claims history is very, very high, and a lot of companies don't want to touch it. Again, if it makes sense, if the money makes sense, they'll do it. But
I know.
Also, if you have a lot of bad drivers. So if you have guys and drivers and they have speeding tickets and they have accidents on the record, then they're like, why would I want to give it to you? Just the chances of having a claim are so high.
I know the personal injury lawyers love when you hit a commercial truck. It's probably the flip side of why no one.
Yes, but not
right?
TLC, because the TLC insurance companies are notorious for not paying claims. And for fighting people on claims, and so it's like a nightmare with claims.
I know Moshe tried to scare everybody with AI taking over the whole world, and they're going to put everybody. I don't think they're taking over anything and taking away anybody's job. I mean, certain industries, but would you recommend somebody coming out of yeshiva, 23 years old, they need a nice career? Do you think insurance is a great career to go into?
If they have patience and they have a head on their shoulders, it could be a very good career. I've had a bunch of insurance students over the years, people who have, whether I worked for me directly or they've worked for companies that I used to work for and I just taught them the business. It can be a great career. As somebody said to me once, another very nice little insurer, he says, if I can convince somebody to put on tefillin, I can sell them insurance policy. And 100%.
Does regulation make the business tough?
There's not as much regulation in the insurance world as people think. So it's really not that crazy. It's one of those industries I feel that the federal government and the state government doesn't really clamp down and make your life miserable for it.
This is a little bit off the charts, but you're a Lubavitcher guy. You're a household name. Everybody knows Pinchus Chein in insurance for the last 30 years, but you live in the heart of Flatbush.
Yes.
I asked you when I went to pick you up. I said, "How did you end up in Flatbush and not live in Crown Heights?" I know it was a little bit of like a Nebuch, like weird question, but I'm just curious.
Not at all. My parents are divorced, so I grew up when I was in Crown Heights when I was very young. My mother moved to Flatbush. She grew up in Crown Heights, but she wasn't in Lubavitcher. It was one of those during those days where a lot of people who were not Lubavitch used to live there. So my mom moved to Flatbush. I lived with her, and so that's how I lived there.
I don't like to ask personal questions,
Sure,
but you mentioned
please.
it. How old were you when your parents got divorced?
I think it was 9. I think it was 9.
What type of effect did it have on you when you were growing up?
I don't know. You have to ask the therapist. I made them money for sure. No, it wasn't so bad. It just two different people didn't get along, which is
Right.
fine. I don't know how they got. Honestly, I don't know how they got married in the first place. I see them, and I'm like, the only reason that I exist is just the Abish made it that they should get married. They should have me.
Oh, you're
That's
an
it.
only child?
I'm an only child for my parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're close to both of them?
I'm close to both of them. Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
They got remarried or no?
My mother is remarried. I have 2 half sisters. Wonderful. They live in Flatbush.
Baruch
Great.
Hashem.
Yeah, it's great.
What do you think about people who do not want to marry people who are parents are divorced? What's your opinion about that?
Maybe there was a stigma, years ago and
They
years
say
ago.
that's the higher risk of them getting divorced.
Well,
'cause-
1 second before you say that, I know you
Why
did
before?
I know you did really well with marriage. I was in your home today. Your wife is a lovely person.
She's great.
She offered me soup, and I
There
want to
we go.
say
That's
my
a-
wife's a great cook. That soup is one of the best soups I had in my life.
She said she was like very upset about it because she didn't put in all the
She
things.
said she didn't put in the cilantro.
cilantro. She's very upset about that.
I
And
pro-
not enough lemon.
I
lime.
promise the soup was perfect. Do not change the recipe.
She's going to because she
Don't
wants to make sure.
change the recipe.
She's going to potch
No,
with
do
it
you
to make it
think
perfect.
people-
Why, she also had the soup.
It was great.
Great soup.
Thank
He
you.
said he was hungry before we got to your house. So I
So it's not really great
politely-
soup.
No,
It's not really
when I
great
came in
soup.
and the smell, the aroma was in my
Yeah,
face.
it's not
I was
really
like,
great soup, but he was just
made
super
sure
hungry.
to compliment on the soup, so the question should lead to,
Ah,
can I
well.
offer you some soup? Otherwise,
problem. I should have been grilling a steak in the backyard, and I would have been having even had a steak
I'm
for
not
you.
hungry right now. I'm not hungry right now, and I would love another bowl of those. We're driving him home. We're getting more soup.
I'll make sure she has ready to
do
go.
you think people are more likely to get divorced if their parents are divorced? You see it as an option?
He's
Do you
married
believe-
35 years. No.
I'm not 35 years.
How old? 30 years?
I'm married 20, I think, or 24. Don't know.
Is that
maybe
stigma
25.
true? Not at all. What do you think? Do people say if you marry someone whose parents are divorced, they see that as a easy way out? They don't want to work in a marriage, and therefore,
It could easily be. I think if you work on yourself and you're self-aware, I think I'm very self-aware. I don't know if my wife would say I'm self-aware, but I definitely I think I'm self-aware. But if you're self-aware, you know that your flaws, you try to navigate around the problems that you have. You take on, try to get the good from your parents, not the bad, and you try to figure out what the right things to do. are.
do your kids dating parents divorced? Do you care, or would it make a difference?
I don't care.
You don't make a
I
difference.
don't care. Why?
I don't know.
My wife married somebody whose parents are divorced, and she's still happy with me. She hasn't
you-
thrown me out yet. It's great.
So, Lubavitcher living in Flatbush for 30 years, it's perfect. More than 30 years, it's fine. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean,
You ever thought of moving to Grand Heights or never?
I haven't. I would have gone. I would have moved. My wife wasn't used to it. She's not from a Lubavitch family, so she's.
You said you grew up in Grand Heights.
No.
You said,
She's
oh, your
Flatbush.
mother didn't grow up in Lubavitch.
My mother didn't.
Your
grow up.
wife's background as well.
My wife is. I think she's like 4th generation American. She went to Shlomis for school. I said I married her for the Kiev points. I went from a private to general in Tzivos Hashem in one fell swoop. But she's no. She didn't have a problem with it. It was great. It's nice.
Baruch Hashem.
I would have moved. She didn't want to. It's fine. No problem. I have my family's there. My mother's still there. It's good. Her parents are there.
Just from a career perspective, do you think people go to school and say, "I want to be selling insurance"?
Absolutely not. I never would have thought about it. I fell into it, and as I was going to school, and I was matzliach in insurance, I was like, why shouldn't I continue this?
What
It's
could
not-
someone make? What could someone expect to make?
It's getting personal.
starting salary?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of listen, a lot of brokerages, people who hire people, it's really a sales job. So it's hard. You pound the pavement, you get a lot of no's, and
But you never pound the pavement, right?
I was very, very matzliach on
You
that.
never.
I never pound the pavement. Correct.
Wow. That's before social media, anything.
Correct. So, again, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's an annuity. You have to be patient because it builds. You write. Let's make up a number. Let's say you sell $100,000 of insurance premiums. You're making $5,000, right? You split it with the house. Let's say 50-50. $10,000 is the average commission, 10%, right? You gain $5,000. That's 1 year, and then but it builds and it builds. Somebody wants to learn a business, they can work for a brokerage.
But here's the question. I'm not to interrupt.
Sure, no, please.
Here's the question.
Not to
You start selling $10 million in premiums, and
Yeah.
now you're dealing with 50 times more customers,
Correct.
and now they're calling with a question here and there. And even if it's only 3 or 4 out of 100 that call you every week or month, I think a lot of companies, they tell you that after a certain amount of time, you're holding the hand of your old customers that it's hard to even get into.
Correct.
So is there a balance?
There has to be a balance, that you have to have good staff, good people around
support.
you who are able to say they're going to take care of you on this, and they're going to take care of you on this end. But if you want to talk to me, you have to be always available. So you have to always balance that up. It's very
What
hard.
percent of the-
I had a hard time with it for a while because I'm a micromanager. I want to make sure my staff was doing, but after a while, I let go and they're handling it. But I'm still there. I'm always available. For
What percent of the commission usually
the average is 10% on property and casualty
on premium?
of premium
Forever, or is it the first year or something?
No, forever.
Forever,
P&C.
10%.
Usually forever. Again, there are companies pay you more commission up front. If you write a piece of new business and they give you a little bit less, as the policy renews. But if you want to use an average number, it's just 10%.
It's true carriers don't want to start new lines of business, and you have to even buy into new lines and new carriers. Is that a thing?
Depends on where the market is going. If it's something is profitable, they're always waiting for another insurance company to go into it. And if they're doing well, then we want to go and compete with them.
Oh, like you could
follow the model.
You could sell. What percent of current major carriers could you sell?
Majority of them.
Majority.
Yeah, I might not make my 10% commission because I'm not signed up with every single one.
So you
I have to
share
go through.
it,
I have to go
co-broke
through a
it.
wholesaler. Sort of. I have to go through a wholesaler for it, but I'm okay with making less commission if I close the deal, because then you can always cross sell and sell other products. So if a person says, "Oh, I want to call you for renter's insurance only," I say, "No problem. Do you need anything else? Do you want to talk about anything else? Do you want to talk about your car insurance? Do you want to talk about your life insurance or any other product that I can sell them?" Eventually, they're going to buy a house.
Insurance?
I sell life insurance. I am
I
licensed
didn't know
life insurance.
this.
I sell life insurance. Listen, Duty was here. He's a schmuck guy. I wouldn't say a word about it.
Wouldn't you say
he's a good
life
guy.
insurance are more salesy and
Much
P&C people are more like technical?
Much more. Oh, listen, you have to be a salesman no matter what you're doing. You have to still convince somebody to take you versus somebody else. But life insurance, it's not an absolute requirement to have. So,
So
P&C
isn't
have
life
to have it.
insurance, you get most of the commission
up-
in the first year?
Right, correct. And then you
Oh,
get very
so
little.
that's- okay.
So that's why you have to build your
So the first year is
your
what, 10%?
network. Oh, in life insurance?
The whole premium. The
no,
whole
it's
premium.
tremendous. It's 50, 70, 80, 90,
And then
depends on the insurance
afterwards,
company.
after the first year?
Afterwards, like 1%. So
Wow.
once you have to grow your business. That's why they're constantly selling. They're constantly going after product and to sell it. So you can do very well.
But my experience with life insurance agents, I'm not going to talk about all the people I work with. They get you for a good life insurance policy, and they get you for a good life insurance policy for your wife, and then they try to sell you a little bit more over the next few years and increase your policies. Then they figure out that you need to get disability insurance, and they try to get you to invest. I'm saying they don't only stick. They always, besides getting new customers, they try to sell you more and more.
A good life insurance brokerage is going to. Broker is going to be on top of your account and see as your needs change, as your life changes, you're going to need to change your coverages and you need to get other ancillary things. So yes, if he's not just trying to, burn and churn and just sell you a policy and then sell you a new policy next year, but if he's taking care of you, if you have a new kid, you bought a house, now you want to make sure that that pays off the mortgage, your insurance needs are greater. I started buying life insurance when I was I think 21 or 22 when I got married, and I have a bunch of policies over the years, and I keep, I change it over time.
Is the point to sell the insurance agency eventually?
For me,
Yeah, or in general?
I love to work, so I could do it as long as I'm breathing.
What multiples do they sell at usually?
The hedge funds, the bigger hedge funds who do it it's a very nice number.
What is
You
it?
can-
What multiple?
Could be 5 times.
5 times the
Whoa.
premium.
No,
income. 5
commission.
times income.
Commission, yeah.
5 times.
Commission, yeah.
It's not
Cool.
bad. So if one day you want to just sell your whole book of business,
In theory, maybe somebody will only offer me 2.5 times or give me 2 times, whatever. Just But I love the business. I love what I'm doing. I would keep doing it as long as I possibly
if I
could.
may ask, how many hours a day do you work?
How many hours a day do I sleep is the question.
You have office hours?
I have office hours. I have office hours for my staff.
So officially, what time do you open up in the morning? You go to your office,
Officially, we open up at 9:00.
and officially you close at what time?
We don't close. When I go to sleep.
So at 10 o'clock, there's a number that somebody could call and you'll answer, 10 p.m.?
Yes. If it's something emergency, I'm closing on a deal, I have a cash purchase, I need to do something, I need it right away. Yes, absolutely.
I can't believe you never did any outbound sale. Crazy. That's
Because-
the most
He's
crazy.
so good. People just call
That's
him.
the craziest thing you said from the only craziest thing you said the whole interview.
I've been very lucky. I had a lot of good referrals, a lot of people in other businesses who referred me. There's accountants and mortgage brokers.
And you didn't reach out to them; they just naturally send it to people.
I have no problem asking people who are great referrals to ask me, lawyers and those types of people. I'm happy to do it. Like I have a mortgage broker. I literally saw him outside of Essex on Coney. He used to be on Coney Island Avenue, and he was a guy in my high school. And he says, "I'm getting into mortgages." I said, "Great." And he was a waiter. Literally, he was also a waiter. That's why I love him. He's a couple years younger than me. And I gave him I said, "Hey, listen, if you have any of your clients ever need insurance, just please send them my way." And he worked for another company, a mortgage company, who had an insurance division, but he sent them my way. And I got a lot of business. This was when the mortgage boom was going on, and I got a lot of clients from them. And not only that, but he loved the work that I did, the speed, and the accuracy, and the timing, and everything that needed to be done so they can get to the closing. That he referred to other people in his office. I have very good friends, very, very good friends from that business that I still talk to.
That's a very important point that I think we never mentioned in our shows.
I think that whiskey is getting to you.
No, sales.
You want another whiskey?
He's slurring a
I
little
have to
bit.
drive back in the snow.
I'll have one for you.
But sales from referrals. People think you have to be salesy, but if you have a good referral, like there is a
Correct.
bank that I have a relationship with, and because I send them so much business, they really shower me a lot of love. So when people think sales means just calling and bothering your friends and family to sell whatever product service,
I never did that.
think
yeah.
of key people, a referral influential people. Be nice. Just call them. Say, hey, can I take it for lunch, dinner, breakfast, coffee?
Yeah, just think of
Let
me, have me in
service
mind.
you.
100%.
Please have me in mind.
Like
How does
Ari
somebody-
But
Minkowitz.
pay in.
I'll give you an example. Ari
Ari
Minkowitz
Minkowitz.
was a mortgage broker. He was working for Mendy Gonsberg for Landmark Funding. He's Mendy Lieberman's brother-in-law, right? And they have a business. I know. I remember Levy. They talked about it. He gave me a lot of good referrals, a lot of good advice.
I want
So
you
a
to
lot
tell
of
you
good
something.
deals.
Your name, Mendy Lieberman, comes up a lot on the show.
I know. I remember.
I meet a guy in show last week. He's thinking about either staying at his job or buying out a company that does the same thing that he does now. And I asked a friend of mine who's a multi-gazillionaire, thank God should continue to bless him.
So you can refer me that.
I asked him, could you help my friend with business advice? And you know what he says? I'll meet with your friend. But you know what I think he should do? I think he should go meet with Mendy Lieberman. I meet the guy Thursday night at the Friendship Circle, Young Men's Social, and I asked my friend, what did you do? He said, I sat down with Mendy Lieberman.
There you go.
And I said, did you make a decision because of him? He said, yeah. And he explained me the whole thing. So whoever
people.
this Mendy Lieberman guy is, you should come on the show because everybody's talking about you.
He's good people. You have a good family, good people. So,
I
but
just want to end off.
guys like that, please.
Oh, how does somebody reach you?
Oh, I mean, I have a website. I have my phone number. I'll
What's
post
your-
it.
What's your website?
Chain-insurance.com.
Chain-insurance.com.
Chein.
CHEIN-insurance.com.
Or just call me at the office.
What's the phone number?
718-799-5608.
The guy who got rich without
Mention
even,
Clappy.
without.
I
even
didn't say
making
I'm
one
rich.
sales
Whoa.
call, without
I have a
one
nice
sales.
suit because
Guys,
my wife made me get one,
There's
but I'm
no,
not rich.
there's no kickbacks. There's no kickbacks.
Right.
Why not? There is kickback.
I
No
just want,
kickbacks.
wait,
Oh, you're not allowed. It's
I
illegal.
No, it's illegal. I don't do kickbacks.
I just want people that come on our show out of the kindness of their heart that when they meet their friends in shul, they should say it. So I'm asking you a favor. When you call up Pinchus Chein, say, I watched you on the Clappy and Frank show.
Please.
You're not
That'd
going
be
to get 50% off your premium.
Nope, I can't
no
do that.
codes, no passwords.
I'll give you the same
Just
TLC
say-
that I give
You'll
every
get the
other
same
every
love,
client.
no matter. Just say you saw Pinchus on the
Clap, I
Clappy
just-
and Frank show.
I just
Oh,
saw,
we're going to put your number and website under the
that'd be
link as
great.
well.
I
Thank
just
you.
saw. If we can end off
Sure.
before they close the bridges and
L'chaim.
tunnels. L'chaim. Steve Jobs did an interview and he said, he said when he was young, he lived in Palo Alto. He called up Mr. Packard and he said he wanted help on something. You know, at the time you found Hewlett Packard.
Hewlett Packard, sure.
And he said, I need this extra part for my printer or something. And he said, sure, come over, come pick up the part. He gave him a job that summer. He interned and he got a job, I think maybe. But he said people are so afraid to pick up the phone and ask people to help. He says,
right.
Steve said, I never had a situation where called someone for help and they didn't help.
Wow.
And this is not like a Frum and a Yid and a Chesed organization.
So listen up.
Abbas Yisrael.
Right. So listen up.
The guy, Steve Jobs and Palo Alto said, I never called someone and asked for help, and the guy didn't help.
So, Bekitzer, you're sitting there in your $1 million house, your $20 million house, your $1 billion company. You have no idea what's going on.
$100,000 company.
You have no idea what's going on with your insurance. Pick up the phone, call my friend Pinchus. He'll look at your policy. He'll help you. If he thinks your stuff is good, he'll tell you to stay where you are. The most important thing is hit that subscribe button, hit that like button,
Also,
hit that forward button.
Please, if you could wish Clappy and Mazel Tov. He did his first stand-up comedy show. This
sorry,
past Motzei Shabbos.
I apologize, I missed it.
In Manhattan.
Woo!
With a fancy lineup of people. He opened up for the show. He sold a lot of tickets.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, the stuff that he says that I opened up in front of two of the top comedians in the world today, yes, because I had chest
in Manhattan.
I had chest pain from laughing. Literal had chest pain from laughing. The guys were great. And it
so
was a
please
packed
wish Clappy
auditorium.
and Mazel Tov.
Packed
We're going to
auditorium.
share some of the clips from the show.
That's scaring me.
He's available for bookings. He sells tickets. Let me tell you, he sells tickets. So for your next simcha, reach out to us to book the Clappy. First of all, his energy is amazing. Just to have him around with his smile and his positivity, his optimism is insane. Besides that, he's hilarious. What's very interesting, a lot of the writing we get for the show, I help with the writing and stuff. Just he says funny things while I'm with him in the gym. I say, Clappy, hold that thought. Let's write it down. It's like I don't have to look. It's just him being around him. He says these crazy funny
By the way,
things.
Jerry Seinfeld, better look out.
So book him before the prices keep on going up, just like our sponsorships. Baruch Hashem prices keep on going up, and we still might need another 4 tables to cover all the sponsors. So if you want to sponsor the show, let us know. Support us. We haven't done a fundraiser. It is my goal, never, ever, ever, to have to do any fundraisers, GoFundMe for our show. The demand, the views, and the interest should be good enough that the sponsors know that it's good and it works, that we will never have to do any
By the way,
GoFundMe.
I just want to say...
It is my goal. I don't know.
Right.
We may end up failing, you know.
But I want to say something.
Yeah.
Failure is not an option.
This is what the studio provided this water. They're not a paid sponsor.
Okay.
But I do think there's a major opportunity for a beverage company to be the official sponsor of the show. We'll sign a 1-year contract because I love drinking delicious drinks, and we need a beverage sponsor for the show.
I also want to thank our studio, Theorist Studio. Although they don't give us any discounts for giving us shout-outs, even though we charge a lot of money for the sponsors. But it's a snow day, 8 p.m., and the Bridgesden Tunnel is about to be closed by Mayor Zoran. They are open, ready, and available.
Not Zoran, it's Kwame Mamdani.
And the problem is he's like almost in New York City, Manhattan, he's the best studio. He's always available, reliable,
2
great
studios.
turnaround, 2 studios. You would think in Manhattan, there's like, with his service, it's insane.
It's insane.
And shout out to Theorist,
Their studio
who
does a
never
great job.
negotiates underpricing, even though how many shout-outs we give in viral clips. But they do great work on this day like this, snowing, what's going to be 25 inches, whatever it's going to be. They're here ready to serve.
All right, peace
Book
out.
Theorist, and hopefully they'll
Thank
give
you
us a
so much.
discount from the referral.
Thank you so much, Pinchas, for coming on
Thank
the
you so
show.
much. And thank
my
you for
pleasure.
Pinchas for agreeing to come
Sure.
in the car.
Hey, listen, if a guy can eat donuts and have a serious nefesh, I can come out for the snow. I guess that was
Good
cut
night.
off.
Oh,
Oh, well.
look at the butt. You hear that ringing? That's like a blizzard warning? Whoa, that's crazy. Thank you so much.